Hi everyone and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to be working on the 3 marker challenge, and it's something that I wanted to try out for such a long time, so I'm really excited. I have a bowl of Copic markers in front of me, and the idea is to close my eyes and pick 3 colours, and I can only use those 3 colours to work on a drawing. I feel like this is a great way of testing your abilities to see what you can do with the colours given to you, and it gives you an opportunity to try some colours that you might not usually try. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes and pick 3 colours. So here we go. So here are the colours. We have tea rose, rose red, and hydrangea blue. I think I was very lucky with these picks. These colours work extremely well together. This is going to be awesome to try out with the image that I've already sketched. So what I'll do is I'll go into the next video, show you the sketch that I've got. I'm going to add some lining to it, and then we'll use these colours. So here we go. I'm so glad that I'm finally working on this challenge. For this drawing I decided to sketch an elven girl. This is a character style that I hadn't really tried before, and I thought while I'm trying this challenge I might as well try something new as well, try a new character style and see where I can go with that. So I made sure to give her a big anime style eye, the small nose and the sharpened elven ears that you'd expect. I start off with the outlines with a sepia coloured Copic multiliner pen that's 0.05mm. This pen is extremely fine, so it was really helpful when I wanted to create the dynamic lines, adding some thicker lines underneath the face and thicker lines around the eyes and underneath some parts of the hair. I only recently started using this pen, but I love the sepia colour. I think it works really well in some Copic marker drawings. And it doesn't bleed at all when you use the Copic markers over the top of it, which is a huge plus point. And once the outlining was done, it was time to move on to the colouring with the 3 markers that we've got. I used the tea rose marker for the skin tones. I started off only by adding an outlining of that colour around the face, just to get an idea of the darkness, the tone of this marker. Once I realised that it was quite light, I decided to fill in the colouring of the rest of the face, keeping it quite light and not pressing too hard with the marker. I then added some extra layers of this colour around the eye and the top of the nose, to the tip of the nose and underneath the mouth, just to add a little bit of extra shading. And then once I wanted to add some extra shading, I used the rose red marker. I used this underneath some parts of the hair, around the face, some outlining around the chin, and it works extremely well with the tea rose. They both blend really well together and they complement each other very well. For her lips I used the rose red, and then I added some outlining with the hydrangea blue, and then I used the rose red over the top of that again to blend the colours into each other, and I think this worked really well. For her eyes I started off with the rose red and then added some outlinings with the hydrangea blue. For her pupil I used the hydrangea blue. I really liked keeping the pupil lighter, especially when thinking about adding the highlighting later on. I was thinking about the effects that would give, and I was excited to try that out, so I kept the pupil light, and I was going to rely on adding some detailing with a Copic multiliner and a Uniball highlighter pen later on. I added a bit of rose red to the tip of her nose and then blended it in with the tea rose marker, just lightening the shade and blending it into the skin tones. For her hair colour I used the hydrangea blue. I started off by adding some darker colouring to the top of the head and then blending it downwards, but also leaving some highlights, kind of around the level of her forehead, leaving streaks of highlights and showing that kind of reflective surface and making her hair very shiny. I think this is a really nice way of making a drawing stand out, having that kind of really shiny reflection, kind of like an anime style hair. I then added some darker colouring around the bottom of her hair, and once that was completed I used the rose red marker over the top of it to add an extra tone to the hair. It makes the colouring stand out, having some rose red around the edges of the highlighted areas of the hair. It really shows kind of that effect of having sun shining on the hair and bringing out some extra colours. I think this works especially well around the highlighted areas. It's a nice way of making the hair stand out, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, maybe the Rize drawing that I worked on a while ago, I love working with hair colours like this, so I was extremely lucky to be able to do it for the 3 marker challenge. Once all of the colouring was done, I then used a black Copic multiliner pen to add some dark outlines around her eye and underneath the nose and underneath the top lip. Little edges like that, and adding some darker outlining to them, it really makes those features of the face stand out. I also added some outlines around the bottom of some parts of the hair, around some of the edges of the ear, and then I used the highlighter pen to add some highlights to the tip of her nose, a little highlight on her cheek and the inside of her eye, and some highlights around the eye itself. Adding some highlights to the lips and that kind of thing. The highlighter pen is really effective for making features like that stand out. Adding little highlights like this to a drawing is something I highly recommend trying out. It's so fun, and it really helps to direct the focus of where you want people to look on the drawing. So adding the details to the eye and the nose and the mouth, it really makes them stand out, and I always have so much fun adding the highlights and thinking about where to add them. And lastly, to finish off the drawing, I added some freckles with the rose red marker, just adding a few little dots to just above the nose and underneath the eyes. I feel this is a really nice way of bringing out the character. And once that was done, the drawing was completed. I had so much fun with this challenge, and I hope to work on more soon. If you have any suggestions or recommendations of things I should try out, then please let me know in the comments, and please let me know what you think of this drawing. If you enjoy videos like this, then make sure you're subscribed, and any likes or shares on this video are hugely appreciated, and it really means a lot to me. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and follow along with the progress photos throughout the week, then be sure to check out the links in the description box below. And once again, thank you so much for the support on this channel, and thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you all soon.